Many people believe their progress depends on the opportunities they receive or the people who stand beside them. Yet the truth is far more profound. A blessing written for you by Allah begins its journey long before you notice any change around you. It navigates through situations you never expected, bypasses obstacles you didn't even see, and continues advancing even on days when you feel as if nothing is happening. Others may try to limit you, misunderstand you, or assume your story is stagnant, but what Allah has decreed for your life keeps unfolding with a certainty no human effort can interrupt. When the moment arrives, the blessing appears with such clarity that you realize it was being shaped for you the entire time. The journey of a blessing written by Allah begins long before a person senses any shift in their life. It moves through the unseen, guided by a wisdom that never falters and a mercy that never weakens. Even when your surroundings appear unchanged, that blessing is quietly advancing with purpose. Allah prepares the direction, the circumstances, and the hearts involved, ensuring everything aligns exactly as it should. What is destined has already begun its motion, even when the human eye sees no sign of change. This is the hidden beauty of trust, knowing something is underway even when nothing is visible. A blessing crafted by Allah navigates through countless layers of life with precision no human mind can comprehend. It passes through situations that seem irrelevant, yet each one plays a part in shaping its arrival. It is woven into moments you don't consider significant, but every detail carries meaning. Allah ties together places, people, and events in a pattern that later reveals harmony. You may think your steps are ordinary, yet they lead to extraordinary outcomes once His decree unfolds. Such is the brilliance of divine planning. Many people worry about the obstacles in their path, fearing that difficulty may push their blessings away. But the decree from Allah does not retreat when challenged. It adapts, transforms, and progresses with even greater purpose. Hardship becomes part of the blessing's route, strengthening the one who will receive it. Pain becomes refinement, confusion becomes clarity, and patience becomes a vessel through which the blessing travels. Nothing is wasted in His arrangement. Every setback carries a piece of the journey. When Allah chooses something for your life, He orchestrates even the smallest details with care. A conversation you didn't expect, a meeting you never planned, or a decision made by someone else may carry the key to your blessing. These are not coincidences but threads in a larger design. Human beings see fragments while Allah sees the complete picture. Once you recognize this, your heart learns to trust even the smallest changes, knowing they may be carrying something you prayed for. A blessing destined by Allah is not affected by the pace of the world around you. People may rush ahead, opportunities may seem occupied, and doors may appear closed, yet what is written for you remains untouched. The world can race forward, but your blessing waits for the moment Allah has chosen. That moment will come with its own clarity, leaving no doubt that it was prepared especially for you. Divine timing never arrives early or late, it arrives with perfection. Every blessing written for you has its own route of arrival, and no person can alter its direction. Even if individuals attempt to mislead, discourage, or disadvantage you, the decree does not bend. Allah's command overrides every human plan. Those who try to hinder you unknowingly become part of the process that leads the blessing to you. This is the power of divine will. It turns every attempt against you into a step toward what you are meant to receive. When the heart grows weary of waiting, Allah's mercy sustains the blessing's journey. He does not require your strength for His plan to continue. The blessing moves with the support of His power alone. The heart that leans on Him finds peace in understanding that the unseen is full of activity, even when life feels slow. That understanding becomes a source of calm, knowing the blessing's path is active regardless of one's emotions. A decreed blessing often emerges from directions a person never considered. While you focus on one area of life, Allah brings provision from another. While you expect help from one person, He sends assistance through someone entirely different. This shift reveals that human strategies are limited, but divine generosity is limitless. The blessing arrives not through what you calculated, but through what He designed. This is why trust is essential. Allah's ways are far wider than human expectations. Nothing written by Allah requires human approval to be fulfilled. You may meet people who doubt your potential, minimize your dreams, or speak without understanding your journey. Their opinions do not shape your destiny. A blessing decreed by Allah exists beyond the reach of judgment, envy, or negativity. It carries its own certainty, its own momentum, and its own permission from the Most High. What He grants, no one can revoke. When Allah prepares a blessing for you, He also prepares you for that blessing. He adjusts your inner state so that you can receive it with humility, gratitude, and wisdom. Strength is built where weakness once existed. Clarity appears where confusion once clouded the heart, and patience deepens where frustration once prevailed. This preparation is as important as the blessing itself, because without it, the blessing would not be held with honor. As the blessing travels toward you, Allah shields it from anything harmful. He protects it from being misused, misplaced, or intercepted. Even the hardships that come your way serve as barriers that redirect you toward what is safer, healthier, and more meaningful. You may see difficulty, but Allah sees protection. You may feel loss, but Allah is preserving what truly matters. Every safeguard in your life is part of the blessing's journey. When the blessing gets close, signs begin to appear in subtle ways. A new opportunity unfolds, a worry eases, a path becomes clearer, or a thought settles deeply in the heart. These indications are not accidents. They are signals that the decree has reached its final stages. Allah does not leave a believer in confusion forever. When He intends to grant, He opens the way in unmistakable ways. The heart begins to sense what the eyes cannot yet confirm. People may assume that power, status, or influence can redirect your destiny. But the truth is that no authority is greater than Allah's will. Those who think they control outcomes only act within the boundaries He has set. Their decisions can never surpass His plan. When He writes a blessing for you, even the choices of others end up guiding you toward it. Human decisions bend under divine command. The journey of a decreed blessing is never random. Every twist carries meaning, every delay carries purpose, and every challenge carries growth. Even when things seem scattered, Allah is arranging them into harmony. What feels disconnected eventually forms a picture more beautiful than you imagined. The blessing fits perfectly when it arrives because everything before it was preparing the space for its entry. The beauty of divine decree is that it often reveals itself at unexpected moments. You may be occupied with other concerns when Allah suddenly opens a door you thought was closed. You may be healing from one chapter when another chapter quietly begins. This surprise is not accidental. It is part of the mercy that makes the blessing even more meaningful. It reaches you when your heart recognizes its value most. The decreed blessing also teaches you the difference between what you desire and what you truly need. Along the way, Allah removes certain attachments, clarifies certain relationships, and rearranges your priorities. This refining process ensures that when the blessing arrives, you appreciate it fully and use it wisely. Nothing decreed for you comes without shaping your character first. As the blessing continues its journey, Allah lifts obstacles you never knew existed. He softens hearts that once resisted, changes circumstances that once limited you, and clears pathways that were once blocked. These shifts reveal the magnitude of His control. You realize that your progress is not a result of luck or coincidence, but a result of His deliberate planning. Every advancement is guided. When the blessing is finally ready to reach you, Allah places tranquility in your heart before it appears. This internal calm is a sign that what you seek is approaching. Even if you cannot articulate it, something within you begins to settle. Fear reduces, doubt fades, and hope becomes steady. This calmness is not imagination, it is preparation for fulfillment. Only Allah can place such certainty in a person's chest. The arrival of a decreed blessing carries a clarity that leaves no confusion behind. You see the wisdom in the waiting, the purpose in the challenges, and the benefit in the detours. Everything that felt scattered suddenly connects. What once felt delayed now feels perfectly timed. Allah allows the heart to recognize His work, so gratitude rises naturally without force. The blessing feels like a completion of a story only He could write. When a blessing reaches the one it was written for, it settles gently without competition or struggle. No one else can claim it, no one else can occupy its place, and no one else can carry its meaning. It becomes clear that it was always meant for you. The journey makes sense only in hindsight, and the heart feels a deep contentment that comes only from Allah's decree. This is the grace of receiving what was always yours in destiny. The path of a decreed blessing ends where Allah decides, and His decision is always flawless. You look at your life with new eyes, realizing that everything you lived, every stop, every shift, every pain, every prayer was guiding you toward what He had promised. And in that moment you understand a timeless truth. What comes from Allah is unstoppable, unshakable, and unmistakably yours. Human beings often assume they have more authority than they truly possess. They may believe their decisions can determine the success or failure of another person. Yet the truth is far greater than any illusion of control. Allah's decree stands independent of human desires. His command does not bend to the opinions, fears, or resistance of anyone in this world. The plans created by people operate within the boundaries He has already written. No one can rewrite what the Almighty has finalized. Many individuals speak with confidence, assuming they can define someone else's destiny. They forget that every word spoken is insignificant beside the will of Allah. He is the one who shapes opportunities, rearranges direction, and opens pathways that no human hand can reach. Even the most powerful people cannot adjust the course He has chosen for a single soul. This realization liberates the heart from fearing human judgment and places trust where it truly belongs. Divine plans unfold with a wisdom that surpasses the deepest human understanding. While people make choices based on limited perception, Allah's decisions are made with knowledge of the seen and unseen. He knows what must be given, what must be withheld, and what must be delayed to protect your future. This understanding brings comfort to anyone worried about external influence. No effort from any individual can interrupt what He has safeguarded. When a person attempts to limit you, their power extends no further than their intention. They may try to close doors, discourage you, or create obstacles, but they cannot touch the decree that moves through the unseen. Their action becomes part of the journey rather than a diversion from it. Allah uses their attempts to redirect your path towards something better, proving that human limitations only highlight the perfection of divine will. Many people become anxious when others block their progress, believing their growth depends on human approval. Yet every setback engineered by someone else is only effective if Allah permits it. And when He does not permit it, their effort collapses before it can reach you. Divine planning renders human interference powerless. Even the most calculated strategies fall apart when they contradict what He has planned. Human beings have boundaries placed upon them by Allah, whether they acknowledge them or not. They can think, they can plan, they can speak, but they cannot dictate the destiny of another soul. Every attempt to restrict someone becomes an empty action when it collides with Allah's decree. This truth should anchor the heart with confidence. Your provision, success, and growth do not depend on human permission. People may underestimate your potential or dismiss your abilities, but their perception has no impact on what Allah has written. Your value is not measured by their acknowledgement. It is determined by the one who created you. Even if the world remains unaware of your worth, Allah elevates whom He wills. He grants honor, opportunity, and guidance not through human decisions, but through His own boundless mercy. Opposition from others may feel heavy, yet it cannot overpower the strength of divine intention. When Allah wants to elevate you, He does so through avenues no one can obstruct. He uses unexpected sources, unfamiliar faces, and unplanned circumstances to bring you forward. Those who believed they could hold you back eventually witness how effortlessly Allah lifts His servant above their limitations. People often attempt to claim credit for someone's progress or failure, yet every outcome is written by Allah long before human involvement. He allows certain people to play a part only to teach them humility or reveal their true nature. No matter how convincing their influence appears, the real author of every chapter is the Almighty. Human hands may touch the surface of your life, but only Allah determines its depth. Those who rely on their own strength often discover how limited they truly are. They plan heavily, speak boldly, and act confidently, yet their influence remains fragile. Any plan that contradicts Allah's decree is destined to collapse, regardless of effort. Their failures serve as reminders that genuine power belongs to the one who created power itself. This realization protects you from overestimating human authority. The decisions people make about you carry no lasting impact unless Allah allows them to shape your direction. Even rejection becomes a form of protection when the Almighty redirects your path. He ensures you do not remain where you do not belong, even if others try to keep you confined. Every step is watched, guarded, and guided by Him alone. This reassurance lifts the weight of fear from your heart. Human beings may attempt to outsmart divine wisdom, but their strategies unravel in unexpected ways. They may plot in silence or speak openly, believing they hold control. Yet Allah's plans are already in motion, unaffected by their schemes. Just as sunlight cannot be stopped by a closed curtain, divine decree cannot be halted by human intention. His will continues to shine through every barrier. When you witness people controlling, manipulating, or withholding opportunities, remember that their reach is temporary. Allah's reach is eternal. He can replace people, shift circumstances, and open new doors in ways that leave the heart in awe. What others refuse to grant, He can grant effortlessly. Human resistance becomes insignificant when placed beside divine generosity. Divine plans do not require cooperation from those around you. Even unwilling participants become instruments of guidance when Allah commands their involvement. Their decisions, regardless of intention, contribute to the progress He has chosen for you. This is a reminder that Allah does not need the world to approve before He blesses someone. His command alone is sufficient. People may try to discourage you by highlighting your weaknesses, but they cannot erase the strengths Allah has blessed you with. They cannot remove the talents He placed within you, nor can they prevent the growth He destined for your future. Human criticism does not diminish divine gifts. It only reveals how limited their perspective is compared to the wisdom of Allah. When fear of human interference overwhelms you, return to the truth that Allah's protection covers what He has written for you. He shields your path, fortifies your heart, and preserves your blessings from corruption. Even if the world attempts to disrupt your peace, His mercy stands between you and every harmful intention. His protection cannot be broken by anyone. Human beings may judge based on appearance, assumptions, or incomplete knowledge, but Allah sees the entire story. He knows the beginning, the end, and the purpose behind every chapter. No one can override the design He has already perfected. Their judgments fade into silence when His decree manifests. What matters is not who doubts you, but who guides you. When Allah decides to lift you, the process unfolds with a beauty that leaves no room for doubt. The doors that once remained closed open with ease. The opportunities that once felt distant come forward without resistance. Every shift reveals that no human effort could match the precision of His planning. The heart learns to rely on Him completely. Nothing written by Allah can be stolen, blocked, delayed, or reshaped by any individual. Whatever is reserved for you will reach you in a form that suits you, at a time that strengthens you, through a path that teaches you. Human limits only highlight how perfect His decree is. Every part of your journey reminds you that His will alone determines your destiny. The unfolding of divine plans brings peace to the heart that trusts Allah fully. You begin to see how every challenge served a purpose, how every closed door was a shield, and how every setback was a redirection toward what was better. Human attempts fade into insignificance beside the authority of Allah. His plan remains untouched, unstoppable, and entirely yours. A delay from Allah is not an interruption to your journey. It is part of the design that shapes your destination. What feels slow to you is timed with precision by the one who knows every layer of your future. Your heart may want to move faster, but Allah holds back the outcome until it fits perfectly into your life. He knows when a blessing would overwhelm you and when it would uplift you. His timing is not a reaction to your request, it is a preparation for your well-being. This understanding calms the restless soul. A blessing withheld for the moment is being arranged in the unseen, strengthened, refined, and tailored for your circumstances. You may assume nothing is progressing, yet Allah is arranging every step with delicate care. Situations shift, people change, and opportunities evolve until everything aligns with a wisdom beyond your vision. What you interpret as waiting is actually construction, a building process happening behind the scenes. Once complete, the result carries meaning you could never have planned yourself. Delays teach the heart to detach from haste and hold on to trust. When a person relies on their own timeline, frustration grows quickly. But when they depend on Allah's timing, patience grows naturally. The delay stretches the heart, allowing it to develop resilience, clarity, and humility. These qualities are essential for handling the blessing when it arrives. Without this inner growth, the gift may be misused or undervalued. Allah delays only to ensure you rise to the level of what you seek. Every delay carries a lesson designed specifically for you. It may be a lesson in maturity, gratitude, wisdom, or self-awareness. Until the heart absorbs what Allah intends, the blessing remains paused, not to punish you, but to strengthen you. A blessing received before you are ready can become a burden. A blessing received after preparation becomes a doorway to growth. Allah knows which one you need, so He waits until the perfect moment. At times, a delay protects you from something harmful that you cannot see. A decision, opportunity, or relationship may appear beneficial, yet Allah blocks its progress to shield you. His protection is often misunderstood as denial. Only later does the heart realize how much harm was prevented by slowing down the pace. Through this, you learn that a not yet from Allah is often greater mercy than a yes from the world. The path to a blessing sometimes requires other people to be prepared as well. Their heart's intentions and circumstances must align with yours. Allah adjusts their journeys together with yours so that the connection is meaningful when the blessing arrives. What looks like unnecessary delay is often synchronization, a precise alignment of multiple lives guided by divine wisdom. The blessing becomes complete only when all the pieces fit. Delays also reveal the sincerity of your intentions. When something does not arrive immediately, your heart shows its true state. If you seek the blessing purely for the sake of Allah, your trust remains steady. If your intentions are mixed, the delay exposes the weakness so it can be corrected. Allah refines your motives so that your blessing is built on sincerity, not impatience. This purification is a gift within itself. A delayed blessing allows your character to evolve into someone who can carry that blessing responsibly. Strength is developed where weakness once lived. Discipline grows where inconsistency once dominated, and wisdom forms where naivety once existed. Allah prepares your inner world to match the magnitude of the gift. What He plans for you requires a version of yourself that still needs shaping. The delay becomes part of the transformation. Delays often separate you from people who are not meant to walk into your future. Allah pauses the blessing until those who would harm your progress are removed. He clears the pathway by revealing true intentions and exposing hidden motives. Only after these shifts does the blessing move forward. What appears to be slow progress is actually protection from being tied to the wrong company. The longer the delay, the deeper the appreciation when the blessing finally arrives. Allah allows you to experience longing so that gratitude becomes rooted inside you. When the gift reaches you, it holds weight in your heart because of the journey it took to reach your hands. You value it differently, treat it with care, and recognize its origin more clearly. This depth would not exist without waiting. A delay can be a redirection towards something far better than what you originally prayed for. You may ask for something small, unaware of what Allah has planned. When He delays, He invites you to expand your vision. Only later do you realize that the blessing you receive surpasses what you imagined. The delay was not withholding, it was upgrading. His generosity exceeds human requests. Delays purify your dependence on Allah. As you wait, you realize how limited your strength is and how powerful His support becomes. The reliance you build during this period is not temporary. It becomes a foundation for the rest of your life. Allah strengthens your trust through pauses, teaching your heart to lean on Him alone. This spiritual anchoring becomes more valuable than the blessing itself. What feels delayed on earth may already be in progress in the heavens. Allah's decisions are not bound by human clocks. Your blessing may be written, but the world around you needs time to align with that decree. People must move, opportunities must form, seasons must shift. The delay ensures the blessing arrives at the moment when all elements come together flawlessly. When you wait for something meaningful, Allah expands your capacity to hold gratitude and wisdom. You grow in ways you didn't realize were necessary. You become more aware, more grounded, and more spiritually connected. By the time the blessing arrives, you possess a depth of understanding that enhances its effect on your life. The delay shapes the heart that will carry the gift. Delays reveal how little control human beings truly have. You can plan, work, and hope, yet the result remains in Allah's hands. This realization brings humility, allowing you to let go of excessive pressure and embrace surrender. When you stop forcing outcomes, you create space for Allah's decree to unfold naturally. Peace replaces frustration and trust replaces anxiety. A delay teaches you to distinguish between desire and destiny. You may want something intensely, but Allah knows whether it fits your journey. What He withholds is not meant to break you, it is meant to guide you. The clarity you gain through patience redirects your heart toward what is truly beneficial. The delay helps you discover what aligns with your purpose. During a delay, Allah may be removing barriers you are unaware of. These barriers could be emotional, spiritual, or external. He clears the path gently, ensuring the blessing arrives without unnecessary complications. You may not see the cleansing process, but you will feel its effect when the blessing finally settles. Every obstacle removed is part of the alignment. Delays refine your emotional strength. They strengthen your ability to endure hardship without losing hope. This emotional resilience becomes essential for maintaining the blessing once it arrives. Many people lose what they receive because their hearts were not prepared. Allah delays to ensure you can protect and preserve what He chooses to give you. The gift becomes sustainable, not temporary. When the blessing is finally ready, the delay ends with ease that surprises you. What once felt impossible becomes simple. Doors open as though they were waiting for your arrival. Hearts soften, opportunities unfold, and circumstances interlock with perfect harmony. You begin to understand that the delay was never a denial. It was Allah's method of ensuring the blessing reaches you in the best form. The completion of a delayed blessing carries a profound sense of peace. You see how every pause held purpose, how every waiting period carried wisdom, and how every unfulfilled moment was preparing the way. Allah's alignment becomes visible and your heart bows in gratitude. You recognize that His timing was not just accurate, it was flawless. A blessing written for you carries a shield placed by Allah long before you even yearn for it. This protection surrounds it from every side, guarding it from harm, envy, and interference. Even when you feel vulnerable, the blessing remains secure under divine care. Nothing can reach it unless Allah allows it to pass through. This assurance gives the heart confidence that what is meant for you is guarded with precision beyond human ability. Every blessing destined for your life travels with divine supervision. As it moves through the unseen, Allah ensures it is not touched by anything that could diminish its beauty or reduce its benefit. It is handled with care, shaped with mercy, and delivered at a moment when your heart can embrace it fully. No threat, no plot, and no misunderstanding can shake what He protects. The journey is safeguarded at every step. People may attempt to interfere with your progress, but their reach ends far before they can touch what Allah has reserved for you. They cannot penetrate the divine barrier placed around your provision. Their words may be sharp, their intentions unclear, yet their influence remains powerless against the protection crafted by the Most High. What belongs to you remains untouchable no matter how loudly others speak or how deeply they envy. Allah does not allow your blessing to fall into the wrong hands. Even if someone tries to take credit for it, misuse it, or redirect it, the divine protection blocks their attempt. When He wills something for you, He ensures it remains out of reach for anyone else. This unseen security preserves the purity of the blessing, allowing it to reach you without distortion or interruption. The heart finds peace knowing this truth. Certain delays in life are not setbacks, but shields placed around your blessing. Allah withholds it from you temporarily to ensure that no harm approaches it. While you think you are waiting, He is guarding it from being touched by what could damage its purpose. A delay becomes part of the protection, keeping the blessing safe until the right moment. Understanding this removes frustration from the heart. The protection surrounding your blessing also includes emotional and spiritual safety. Allah preserves you from becoming attached to something harmful or unprepared for what is beneficial. He ensures your heart grows strong enough to handle the gift responsibly. If the blessing arrives too early, it may overwhelm you. If it arrives too late, it may lose its meaning. Divine protection arranges everything at the perfect time. No enemy, no rival, and no jealous heart can threaten what Allah guards. They may try to influence your path with negative actions or harmful intentions, but their efforts dissolve before reaching the blessing. Allah's protection acts as a fortress, blocking the impact of their envy. Even their whispers become powerless when He shields your destiny. The blessing moves forward untouched by their attempts. When people misunderstand you or speak unfairly, the blessing remains unaffected. Their opinions cannot alter the fate written by Allah. Protection means the blessing is insulated from the noise of the world. The negativity of others becomes irrelevant because nothing they think or do can interfere with what Allah has promised. This realization removes the fear of being misjudged. Your blessing also carries protection from your own mistakes. Allah, in His mercy, redirects you when your choices could harm the outcome. He closes certain doors abruptly to prevent you from walking into situations that would weaken your blessing. While you may feel disappointed, the closure is actually a safeguard. Allah does not let your errors destroy what He has prepared for you. Protection can be found in the people Allah removes from your life. Not everyone is meant to witness your blessing, and not everyone deserves access to your future. When someone's presence threatens your peace or growth, Allah separates them from your path. This separation is not loss, it is cleansing. Through it, He preserves the blessing from falling into hands that would misuse it. The blessing is also protected from false opportunities. Allah keeps you away from roads that appear promising but lead nowhere. He prevents you from chasing illusions that would drain your strength or distort your vision. What may look appealing from a distance might carry hidden harm. His protection stops you from settling for anything less than what He has written for you. Your blessing cannot be taken by someone who arrives before you. People may seem ahead in life, achieving what you have prayed for. But their journey has no impact on what Allah has designated for you. The blessing does not move based on competition or comparison. It remains fixed in place, waiting for your arrival. Protection means it is reserved with absolute certainty. Divine protection extends to the environment in which the blessing will grow. Allah prepares a safe atmosphere where it can develop without corruption. He arranges supportive hearts, positive conditions, and meaningful connections that help the blessing flourish. If the environment is not suitable, He delays the blessing until everything aligns. The growth of your blessing is as important as its arrival. The blessing is also safeguarded from being misused by others. Even if someone attempts to sabotage your progress, Allah prevents their effort from reaching the blessing. Their influence stops at the boundary He has set. The protection ensures that their actions become stepping stones rather than barriers. What was meant to harm you becomes a means for your elevation. When you feel unnoticed or overlooked, Allah's protection is already at work. He hides your blessing from those who do not have sincere intentions. He conceals your progress from harmful eyes. The world may not see what is unfolding, but the unseen is full of movement. Protection means your blessing grows quietly, away from those who might damage it through jealousy or insincerity. The blessing is guarded by Allah even when you experience hardship. Pain, loss, and difficulty do not weaken the promise written for you. In fact, they often strengthen the protection around it. Hardship awakens wisdom, gratitude, and humility, making you capable of receiving the gift without arrogance. The blessing remains secure throughout every trial, waiting to emerge when you are strengthened. The protection surrounding your blessing ensures that its arrival brings peace, not chaos. Allah does not grant a gift that destroys your stability. He only sends blessings that uplift your heart and benefit your future. Any opportunity that threatens your peace is filtered out before reaching you. This filtering process is part of the divine protection that shapes your path. Protection also means your blessing cannot be rushed by anyone. People may pressure you, encourage haste, or push you toward directions that are not meant for you. But Allah prevents the blessing from appearing before you are ready. He maintains control over the timing, ensuring you receive it with clarity and strength. No one can accelerate what He has decreed to unfold slowly. When the blessing finally reaches you, its protection becomes evident. It arrives with peace, stability, and purpose. You realize that every delay, every closed door, and every separation was part of the shield Allah placed around it. The blessing enters your life without confusion, without conflict, and without competition. It settles gently, proving that divine protection was guiding it all along. The realization that your blessing carries its own protection brings deep contentment to the heart. You no longer fear interference, loss, or harm. You understand that what Allah guards cannot be touched by anyone. This awareness strengthens your trust, lifts your worries, and anchors your faith. The blessing, once protected in the unseen, becomes a visible sign of His mercy in your life. Loss has a way of shaking the ground beneath your feet, creating a silence that feels unfamiliar. Yet within that emptiness, Allah plants seeds of renewal that only reveal themselves with time. What is taken from you is not removed without purpose. It clears space for something shaped with greater wisdom. You learn that loss is not the end, it is the beginning of transformation. It prepares you for what lies ahead in ways comfort never could. Every loss carries a hidden message written by Allah. It lifts illusions, exposes attachments, and uncovers truths that were covered by ease. You begin to understand what truly matters when Allah removes what distracted your heart. Loss rearranges your priorities and shifts your focus from temporary comforts to lasting purpose. This cleansing becomes a doorway to a deeper understanding of yourself and your journey. Loss often pulls you into vulnerability, a state where the heart softens and reflection deepens. In this softness, Allah pours guidance that would not enter a hardened heart. Through the ache, you discover spiritual strength that was waiting to be awakened. The emptiness becomes a space where clarity settles. You begin to perceive blessings you once overlooked, realizing the value of what remained. The journey of loss reveals who stands with sincerity and who stands only in convenience. Allah removes certain people from your life to protect your peace, even if the separation hurts. Their departure is not a failure, it is cleansing. You learn that not every companion is meant to walk into your future. Loss becomes a filter that removes what was blocking your growth, allowing genuine support to enter. Loss redirects you toward paths you would never have considered. The closure of one chapter pushes you into another that carries opportunities you once ignored. Allah shifts your direction through experiences that seem difficult at first, but later become the reason for your progress. You realize that without the loss, you would have remained in places that no longer served your purpose. The pain of losing something familiar teaches you resilience. It stretches your emotional and spiritual capacity, strengthening you to handle blessings that require maturity. When Allah takes something, He prepares your heart to receive something of greater value. The strength formed through loss becomes the foundation that supports future gains. Through the hardship, new depth emerges. Loss often uncovers hidden blessings that were overshadowed by what you held tightly. When Allah removes something, He invites you to appreciate what remains. You begin to notice simplicity, peace, and moments of grace that were once overlooked. The journey reveals that life still carries beauty even after something cherished has been taken away. Gratitude grows in unexpected ways. Through loss, Allah teaches you reliance. When everything feels uncertain, you turn to Him with sincerity that rises from the core of your being. No one else can fill the ache the way His comfort can. This reliance becomes a spiritual gain far greater than anything that was lost. It strengthens your bond with Him, making your faith deeper than before. The journey of loss strips away illusions of control. You recognize that nothing in this world is guaranteed, no matter how tightly you try to hold it. This realization brings humility, a humility that opens the heart to trust Allah fully. You accept that what He removes is not meant to remain, and what He grants will come at the perfect moment. Loss shapes surrender, and surrender brings peace. Through loss, you learn that healing is not a single moment, but a gradual unfolding. Each day brings a small shift, a small comfort, a small reminder that pain does not last forever. Allah heals you in gentle stages, ensuring you grow through the process. Each step forward, no matter how small, becomes a testament to His mercy. Healing becomes its own form of gain. Loss empties your hands so that Allah can fill them with what truly benefits you. What you cling to may not always align with His wisdom. When He removes something, He prepares a better alternative, even if you cannot see it yet. Loss becomes a transition from what you wanted to what you truly needed. This shift reveals His generosity in subtle yet profound ways. Through loss, you discover strength within yourself that you never knew existed. Challenges forge patience, reflection nurtures wisdom, and hardship releases resilience. You develop abilities that remain with you long after the pain fades. These inner gains become treasures that no one can take away. Allah shapes your character through experiences that test your endurance and refine your soul. Loss awakens compassion within your heart. Once you experience pain, you begin to understand the struggles of others more deeply. You speak with more kindness, listen with more sensitivity, and support others with more sincerity. This compassion is a gain that softens your personality and elevates your character. Allah builds empathy through the very experiences that once made you feel weak. Loss teaches you to detach from what is temporary. You realize that nothing in this world is permanent. Not success, not relationships, not possessions. This understanding frees you from unhealthy attachments. You begin to seek meaning beyond the physical world. Such detachment leads to spiritual maturity, guiding you toward a deeper connection with Allah. The heart that detaches finds peace that loss cannot disturb. Through loss, Allah protects you from something you could not recognize as harmful. What feels like deprivation is often preservation. You are shielded from future pain, future disappointment, or future conflict. Only later do you see how the loss saved you from something far worse. The wisdom of Allah reveals itself slowly, but when it does, gratitude replaces anguish. Loss allows you to rebuild your life with intention. What breaks makes space for what is meant to be rebuilt. You begin to make choices with clarity instead of impulse. Allah gives you the opportunity to reconstruct your future on a stronger foundation. Each decision after loss becomes more thoughtful, meaningful, and aligned with your purpose. Through loss, you gain awareness of what truly enriches your life. You learn to prioritize faith, peace, sincerity, and authentic relationships. The experiences that once caused you pain become the very lessons that guide your choices. This awareness is a priceless gain that reshapes your entire outlook. Allah teaches through absence what presence could not teach. Loss can become a doorway to blessings you never knew existed. What was taken may have been small compared to what is being prepared. As life unfolds, you begin to see how each loss carved out space for a gain far more valuable. The blessing that follows often carries depth, purpose, and meaning beyond what you initially hoped for. Allah's replacement always exceeds imagination. As you move forward, the journey of loss teaches you that strength is not avoiding pain, but rising with faith after it. You learn that resilience is built through adversity and courage is formed in moments of vulnerability. Loss becomes a stepping stone rather than an obstacle. Allah guides you toward growth that outshines the hardship you endured. The journey of loss reveals that Allah never takes without giving, never tests without teaching, and never allows pain without planting purpose. What you gain through loss becomes part of your story, part of your strength, and part of your faith. You realize that the road of loss was not meant to break you. It was meant to guide you to something greater, something lasting, something written with divine wisdom. Before a blessing enters your life, Allah prepares your heart to hold it with the humility it requires. You may not notice the subtle shifts He creates within you, but each one softens a part of you that was once rigid. The process is gentle yet deeply transformative. It shapes your intentions, purifies your motives, and aligns your inner world with what is coming. By the time the blessing arrives, your heart recognizes its value in a way it never could before. Allah refines your character long before the gift reaches your hands. He removes traits that would harm the blessing and cultivates qualities that allow it to flourish. A heart filled with impatience cannot hold responsibility. A heart filled with arrogance cannot manage honor. Through experiences that challenge and elevate you, He builds the emotional resilience required for the blessing to thrive. This growth is a hidden mercy that prepares you for what you once thought you were ready for. Your heart undergoes subtle adjustments at the pace Allah chooses. He strengthens areas where you were fragile and softens places where you were hardened by life. These internal shifts prepare you to appreciate what is coming instead of taking it for granted. The blessing carries weight, and the heart must be strong enough to carry that weight with balance. This preparation ensures the gift becomes a source of elevation, not downfall. A blessing meant for you comes with responsibilities that your heart may not yet understand. Allah nurtures the depth needed to manage these responsibilities with wisdom. He teaches you how to respond to pressure, how to remain grateful, and how to avoid pride. Every emotional lesson you learn becomes part of the foundation that supports the blessing. Without this foundation, even the greatest gift could collapse under unprepared hands. Sometimes Allah lets you feel the absence of what you desire so that gratitude grows before the blessing arrives. The longing deepens your appreciation and widens your perspective. When the blessing eventually enters your life, the heart embraces it with sincerity rather than entitlement. This longing becomes a spiritual preparation, helping you understand that every gift is a trust from Allah, not a reward for your efforts. When the heart is still entangled in attachments that would damage the blessing, Allah gently removes them. He frees you from dependence on people, places, and habits that would weaken your ability to hold the gift. This detachment may feel difficult at first, but it clears the way for something far better. By the time the blessing arrives, your heart is lighter, stronger, and capable of protecting what it receives. There are qualities Allah instills within you that only unfold through hardship. Patience, endurance, sincerity, and humility grow through experiences that test your emotions. These qualities are essential for handling blessings that require maturity. By strengthening you through trials, Allah ensures that the gift does not overwhelm you. The heart becomes more capable than you ever imagined. Your heart learns discipline before your hands receive opportunity. Allah teaches you to manage your emotions, guard your tongue, and control your reactions. These lessons prepare you for environments where wisdom matters more than excitement. Without discipline, a blessing may slip from your hands. With discipline, it becomes a source of stability and purpose. This training shapes your entire future. Allah builds your trust in Him before giving you what you want. Through delays and unexpected challenges, your heart learns to rely on His timing rather than your own assumptions. This reliance becomes a shield that protects you from future disappointments. When the blessing arrives, you no longer cling to it out of fear. You hold it with peace, knowing it came from the one who never abandons you. Your heart learns gratitude before your hands receive provision. Even in seasons of struggle, Allah places small blessings around you to train your heart to see goodness. This gratitude prevents you from taking future blessings lightly. It transforms you into someone who appreciates even the smallest grace. When the larger blessing arrives, the heart is already trained to honor it fully. Allah prepares your emotional capacity to handle both the joys and challenges that come with the blessing. Every gift carries responsibility, every opening brings new decisions, and every opportunity requires wisdom. Through life's experiences, He expands your ability to navigate these complexities. The heart becomes steady, preventing the blessing from becoming a burden. Your heart is strengthened through disappointment so it can carry fulfillment with dignity. When things do not go your way, Allah teaches you resilience. This resilience prevents you from becoming easily shaken when the blessing finally arrives. You learn to stand firm, remain grounded, and appreciate the journey instead of relying solely on outcomes. Allah builds clarity within you before handing you a blessing that requires direction. He removes confusion, untangles doubt, and guides your thoughts toward what matters. This clarity ensures that when the blessing enters your life, you know how to protect it, where to place it, and how to use it for good. Without clarity, blessings may be mishandled. Your heart grows through separation from what is not meant for you. Allah distances you from distractions that would cloud your judgment. He removes relationships, habits, or environments that would weaken your ability to receive the blessing with purity. This cleansing process ensures that your heart is not divided when the gift comes. The blessing becomes centered, not challenged. A heart that has been tested becomes a heart capable of carrying gifts. Trials build depth, and depth is essential for sustaining blessings. Allah knows that a shallow foundation cannot support meaningful growth. Through every emotional storm, He fortifies your core. The blessing, when it arrives, rests on a heart that has been strengthened through truth. Your heart learns humility before experiencing elevation. Allah teaches you the value of staying grounded even when life begins to rise. Without humility, blessings turn into sources of pride. With humility, blessings turn into tools for goodness. This preparation protects you from becoming misguided by success. Allah expands your compassion before giving you a blessing that influences others. A softened heart is able to use blessings to benefit those around you. Whether it is knowledge, wealth, opportunity, or healing, the blessing expands through a compassionate heart. Allah cultivates empathy so that what you receive becomes a source of mercy, not selfishness. Before the blessing reaches you, Allah teaches you how to let go. Letting go of fear, letting go of impatience, and letting go of expectations. This surrender creates space for His decree to enter your life without resistance. A heart that has learned surrender becomes a heart that receives with peace, not anxiety. This shift transforms how you experience the blessing. When the blessing finally approaches, Allah places a quiet assurance within your heart. You may not know when or how it will come, but the heart feels prepared. Fear weakens, uncertainty fades, and hope settles with maturity. This inner calm is a sign that your heart has completed its preparation. The blessing is near and the soul recognizes its arrival. Once the blessing enters your life, everything you learned before it becomes meaningful. You understand why you waited, why you healed, and why you changed. Allah prepared your heart so the blessing would not overwhelm you, slip through your hands, or damage your future. The preparation was not separate from the blessing, it was part of the blessing itself. Life around you may shift rapidly, with people chasing goals, building plans, and seeking validation in every direction. Yet above all, movement stands the will of Allah, steady and unchanging in its perfection. The world may run ahead, but every outcome follows His decree. What reaches you is shaped by His wisdom, not by the pace of those around you. This brings a sense of calm, knowing your destiny does not depend on worldly motion. People compete intensely, believing speed guarantees success. They act as though rushing forward will open doors that were never meant to open. But Allah grants openings based on purpose, not pressure. A person may race endlessly yet never touch what is not written for them. Meanwhile, another receives effortlessly what was always destined. The contrast reveals how powerless human movement is without divine permission. The world may applaud skill, strategy, and strength, but these qualities can only take someone as far as Allah allows. Talent alone cannot secure what He has withheld, nor can weakness prevent what He has decreed. When He decides, even the smallest effort becomes enough. When He withholds, even the greatest power becomes ineffective. This truth humbles the heart and redirects trust toward Him alone. People often believe influence determines outcomes. They rely on connections, positions, and networks, thinking these will guarantee progress. Yet Allah can remove the impact of an entire crowd with a single command. What people try to orchestrate may collapse instantly if it contradicts His plan. Conversely, what He chooses can rise through unexpected means. Divine choice prevails over human effort. The world sets expectations based on trends and opinions, urging you to follow its direction. But Allah's decisions do not submit to worldly standards. He elevates whom He wills regardless of who supports or opposes. His plan unfolds in ways that transcend human logic. This teaches you that approval from people is unnecessary when Allah already approves your path. While the world may value speed, Allah values timing. He releases blessings at moments when they carry the most benefit. Rushing does not bring them earlier, and waiting does not push them away. His timing brings balance, neither too soon nor too late. Every gift arrives exactly when your heart, environment, and circumstances are ready. The world moves fast, but His timing is exact. People may rise quickly, gaining attention and admiration, yet their progress may not be rooted in wisdom. What rises without His permission lacks stability. It may fall just as fast as it grew. Meanwhile, the person Allah chooses may grow slowly but steadily, reaching heights that last. The world sees speed, Allah sees foundation. Lasting success follows the one He strengthens. The world might overlook your efforts, but Allah never overlooks your sincerity. He sees every intention, every struggle, every quiet act unknown to others. When He decides to honor you, the world cannot ignore what He has revealed. His decision transforms obscurity into recognition and silence into influence. No worldly power can deny what He chooses to elevate. People build plans based on their limited view of the future. unaware of the unseen held by Allah. Their strategies often collapse when faced with realities they did not anticipate. But Allah's decisions are made with complete knowledge, past, present and future. His plan does not require adjustment or correction. It is perfect from the beginning. When the world rushes you, remember that Allah never rushes His decree. He allows you to grow at the pace that benefits your soul. You may feel behind compared to others, but you are exactly where He wants you to be. His preparation is part of His decision. The slow path may carry more wisdom than the fast one. People may push you toward choices that are not aligned with your destiny. Their urgency may create anxiety, making you feel as though you're missing out. But Allah protects you from stepping into places that are not yours. His decision redirects you. Even if the world believes you are moving in the wrong direction, His guidance guards your future. The world often celebrates what is visible, but Allah values what is hidden. He chooses moments that reveal true character, not public applause. Many receive blessings quietly, without noise or recognition, because Allah knows what their hearts can handle. His decision is based on truth, not on appearance. The unseen carries more weight than worldly display. People may assume they control outcomes through planning, persuasion, or pressure. Yet the final result always aligns with Allah's choice. He balances everything with justice that human beings cannot replicate. Even the smallest event plays a role in fulfilling His decree. When the heart accepts this, it stops fearing others and begins trusting the one who decides. When Allah decides to protect you, no movement in the world can harm you. You may be surrounded by challenges, yet His protection shields you from their effect. Problems lose their power, obstacles lose their dominance, and negativity loses its influence. His decision becomes a barrier that cannot be crossed. His will outshines every worldly threat. People may try to hold you back, but their resistance is limited. They cannot block what Allah advances. Their attempts only highlight how secure His decision truly is. What He moves forward cannot be stopped. What He stops cannot be forced. This clarity frees you from the fear of opposition. You understand that human power ends where divine will begins. The world might seem unpredictable, but Allah's decisions bring certainty. Even when life feels chaotic, His plan remains organized. What seems confusing now may later reveal a pattern that leaves you in awe. Allah decides with full awareness of every detail, weaving your experiences into a purpose you will understand in time. His wisdom turns chaos into clarity. When Allah decides to elevate you, He does so through ways that highlight His power. You may rise through unexpected opportunities, supportive hearts, or sudden openings that appear out of nowhere. These moments remind you that success is not handmade, it is heaven sent. The world may not understand how you progressed, but His decision makes the path undeniable. Allah's decisions are based on mercy that surpasses human judgment. People may deem you unworthy, but He sees your sincerity. They may underestimate you, but He sees your potential. When He chooses to bless you, He does so with full knowledge of your struggles and efforts. His mercy weighs every detail with compassion the world cannot provide. As the world moves in countless directions, Allah's decision remains the anchor that guides your life. You learn to walk with trust instead of fear, gratitude instead of frustration, and patience instead of haste. His choices unfold with grace, bringing wisdom step by step. What He decides becomes a blessing perfectly tailored to your journey. You realize that the world can move at its own pace, but your destiny is tied only to Allah's command. People may plan, speak, and act, but He alone determines the outcome. This truth becomes a source of peace, freeing your heart from worry. You walk forward, knowing that nothing can alter what He has written, and nothing can stop what He has chosen for you. When the blessing finally appears, it arrives with a clarity that wipes away every doubt you carried. What felt confusing begins to make sense, as though every experience has been leading you to this exact moment. You understand that the delays, the setbacks, and the unanswered questions were part of a larger design. The blessing enters gently, yet its impact is powerful, reshaping your understanding of Allah's timing. It becomes clear that no other moment would have been as perfect as this one. Its arrival carries a calmness that settles into your heart like a long-awaited truth. You don't need explanations or validation. The peace itself becomes proof of divine planning. The blessing doesn't force its way into your life. It fits naturally, like a missing piece returning to its rightful place. You feel a sense of harmony that was absent before, and that harmony confirms that the blessing is meant for you. Nothing feels rushed or forced. When the blessing finally appears, you recognize how protected it was throughout its journey. You see how every obstacle that once frustrated you was actually shielding what was written for you. The setbacks become signs of mercy rather than hindrances. You realize that Allah kept the blessing hidden until the environment, the people, and your own heart were ready. The protection behind the process becomes as beautiful as the blessing itself. Its arrival often carries reminders of your growth. You look at the blessing and see how much you have changed through the journey. You are no longer who you were when you first prayed for it. The transformation becomes a quiet miracle within your heart. You understand that without that growth, you may not have handled the blessing the way it deserves. The change within you is what prepared you for the gift. When the blessing appears, you begin to appreciate the wisdom behind every closed door. What once felt like rejection now feels like protection. You see how each closed opportunity redirected you towards something far better. You realize that the path you wanted was too small compared to what Allah was preparing. The blessing makes you grateful for everything that didn't work out. Its arrival brings gratitude that pours from a place deeper than words. The heart softens in humility, recognizing that the blessing is not earned, it is given. You feel honored that Allah selected you for something so meaningful. This gratitude becomes a form of worship, strengthening your connection with Him. The blessing becomes a reminder of His generosity. When the blessing finally appears, you notice how effortlessly it unfolds. Doors open without struggle, hearts cooperate without force, and circumstances align without pressure. You witness the power of divine ease. What once felt impossible becomes simple. This ease teaches you that what Allah decrees arrives naturally. Effort is needed, but force is not. The blessing flows into your life without conflict. Its arrival reminds you of every silent prayer you whispered. You recall the nights of hoping, the days of waiting, and the moments where you nearly gave up. The blessing becomes an answer to every unspoken request. The heart feels seen by Allah in a way it never felt before. You understand that your prayers were never ignored, they were answered with precision. When the blessing appears, it carries a certain weight, but the weight feels graceful. It doesn't burden you, it elevates you. It brings responsibility, but the responsibility feels meaningful. Allah ensures that the blessing adds value rather than pressure. You step into the new chapter with maturity you didn't know you had until now. The blessing strengthens your character. Its arrival teaches you how every test was shaping your patience. You realize that waiting wasn't a pause, it was training. You understand endurance at a deeper level. You see how your capacity to trust Allah has expanded. The blessing rewards the patience you practiced, showing that no moment of waiting was wasted. Everything contributed to this fulfillment. When the blessing finally appears, you gain a new understanding of Allah's mercy. You see how gently He guided you, how precisely He corrected your path, and how lovingly He delivered the gift. You recognize that the mercy behind the process is greater than the blessing itself. The entire journey becomes a reminder of His compassion. Its arrival often changes the way you view challenges. You begin to see hardship as a pathway rather than a punishment. You understand that pain served a purpose, teaching you lessons that became essential for this moment. The blessing proves that challenges were never meant to break you. They were meant to prepare you. What once felt heavy now feels meaningful. When the blessing appears, you also see how Allah protected you from settling for less. You realize that what you wanted earlier was far smaller than what you actually needed. His refusal to give you what you asked for becomes a form of mercy. The blessing reveals that Allah's plan was always more generous than your imagination. Its arrival changes the way you approach the future. You develop a deeper trust in Allah's timing and a greater willingness to surrender your plans. You begin to walk with confidence, knowing He knows what you do not. The blessing becomes a teacher, guiding your heart toward lasting faith. You understand that Allah never withholds except to give something better. When the blessing finally appears, you notice that its presence brings peace rather than confusion. Anything that causes turmoil was never meant for you. The blessing settles into your life with harmony, confirming its divine origin. Peace surrounds it, peace follows it, and peace grows from it. This tranquility itself becomes evidence of Allah's decision. Its arrival reminds you that ease is possible after difficulty. You see how Allah replaces heaviness with relief and sorrow with joy. You understand the verse that teaches that with hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, but alongside it. The blessing makes you witness to this truth. It becomes a sign that relief is always closer than you think. When the blessing appears, even the smallest details carry meaning. You begin to notice how perfectly everything fits together. Every event, every delay, every emotion contributed to the final outcome. Nothing feels random. The alignment becomes a reminder that Allah manages every detail with flawless precision. Your life feels interconnected with purpose. Its arrival lifts your faith to a new level. You begin to trust Allah's wisdom in areas of your life that still remain uncertain. The blessing strengthens your belief that He will guide you through future chapters, just as He guided you through this one. It becomes a pillar of reassurance for everything ahead. Faith becomes more stable. When the blessing finally appears, it leaves you humbled by the realization that Allah was working for you all along. Even when you felt abandoned, He was arranging. Even when you felt lost, He was guiding. Even when you struggled to believe, He remained generous. The blessing becomes a reflection of His care. It shows that you were never alone. The arrival of the blessing highlights a timeless truth. What Allah writes reaches you with a certainty that no force on earth can stop. It arrives in its best form, at its best moment, carrying the wisdom of every step taken before it. You embrace it with gratitude, knowing it was always meant to find you, just like this. So remember, what is written for you travels with a certainty that no hand can interrupt and no barrier can restrain. Trust the timing of the one who knows your heart better than you know yourself. When Allah chooses to send a blessing your way, it will arrive with a clarity that leaves no doubt it was always destined to reach you.